we are taking a closer look at a remarkable moment in Nigerian history. General Yakubu Gowon, the former head of state, who oversaw the brutal civil war that ravaged the country, has issued a powerful call for reconciliation and unity. In a speech being held as a landmark moment, Gowon acknowledged the wounds of the past and the lingering scars that still affect the nation. But what does this mean for Nigeria's future? Can a country struggled with division and conflict for so long finally find a path towards healing and unity? Gowon's call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, a symbol of Igbo people's struggles, is a significant gesture. But is it enough? What role can leaders like Gowon play in shaping Nigeria's future? Tonight, we'll explore the implications of this and what it might mean for the future of Nigeria and its people. This is the Eastern Eye. I'm Alex Obodo. Welcome to the Eastern Eye, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. Joining me tonight is Professor Charles Nwekeaku. He's the Secretary of Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Thank you so much, Professor Nwekeaku, for joining me tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's wonderful for you to grant me this opportunity and welcome viewers.
So, were you surprised that Gowon had to speak up at this time? Let's start with the timing of his intervention. It looks like, are you one of those who had expected him to speak before now?
Well, we had expected him to speak before now, especially since the famous statement or discourse of the former military president, General Ibrahim Babangida, when he told a vast group of audience that January 15, 1962 coup wasn't an Igbo coup, as it had hitherto been believed by Nigerians, that the coup was masterminded by Igbo military officers. And we thank God that IBB came out and said it wasn't an Igbo coup. It was a coup by progressive and young military officers who wanted better deal for Nigeria. Of course, we understand that part of their intention was to restore Chief Obafemi Awolowo as the Prime Minister of Nigeria, but propagandists turned it upside down and accused the Igbos of masterminding the coup. So after that, I had expected that other major actors would have come up to talk. And so it's somehow belated, but it's better than nothing. We thank God that it's coming at this time, because what actually happened at that time has continued to happen. It came at the time the whole world has condemned the continued incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. And so I want to commend General Yakubu Gowon for coming out, for being courageous enough to talk to Nigerians that it's time that we reconcile and unify Nigeria and heal the wound of the civil war, which devastated the Igbo land.
All right, so, but the statements from him, did it categorically apologize for any role he played? From your reading of it, because many people might read it differently, did he categorically apologize for any role he must have played? Or was he really just, he was just keeping it plain? Let Nigeria be one and let's reconcile.
Well, we know that major role he played, first is that he was the head of state. He attended the Aburi conference with General Ojukwu then. They agreed to have a government that's similar to a kind of confederation arrangement. Of course, when they came back to Nigeria, the colonialists who didn't want progress of Nigeria, advised him otherwise. And so he changed. He reneged from the Aburi Accord. And that, with a number of things, it was followed by splitting Nigeria into 12 states. And eventually, it led to a civil war. There was a high level of genocide of the Igbos in different parts of the country. He couldn't condemn that. He couldn't do anything. And even when the war was declared, it's against the rule of war to use hunger as a weapon. But starvation was allowed to be deployed during Nigeria-Biafra civil war. So in all that, there was land blockade, sea and air blockade against Biafrans. So, but Biafrans managed to withstand the war. Of course, the federal government had estimated that within 2 weeks, they would have wiped out Biafrans. But as luck will have it, the war lasted for 30 solid months of impressive records from the Biafrans, the people that were land, sea, and air blockade. They couldn't import anything. No major power supported them. And for the first time in world history, two superpowers, United States and the then Soviet Union, despite the existence of Cold War, you know, there was a Cold War there, but even at that, the Soviet Union and United States of America buried their differences and teamed together with other European powers, Britain, France, and so forth. They joined the federal government side, and Biafrans would stick the war for 30 solid months. And so after the war, we had expected the brilliant performance of Biafrans would have encouraged the federal government to harness the impressive and unprecedented technology they displayed. You know that during the war, with the land, sea, and air blockade, Nigerian soldiers had no alternative than to rely on themselves. They started producing, they produced armored vehicles, they produced most of the ammunition they used to defend themselves. And despite the fact that the South Biafra land was the battlefield, they would stand the war very gallantly. We had expected that after the war, federal military government should have harnessed that thing and assembled those engineers that built Ogbunigwe, that is interballistic missile, under war condition. They didn't do that because Biafrans are Igbos. So you see today, Nigeria has been rudderless. You don't know the direction we are moving. You see that Nigeria, even before the Civil War, Eastern region was rated as the fastest growing economy in the world. I think 9.2%. Now, today, after many years after the war, Nigeria cannot come anywhere among the leading economies in the world. But a part of Nigeria, Eastern region, was rated as the fastest growing economy in the world. Now, today, because of the failure of the federal government to harness the ingenuity and creativity of Biafrans, Nigeria has been there. And since then, that part of the country has witnessed continued marginalization, exclusion, deprivation, and the near intimidation. So you see, if you look at it politically, no Igbo man has been allowed to be president of this country since after the war. The nearest was 1979, when His Excellency Dr. Alex Ekwueme was elected the vice president of this country. And you can see that he performed. He was the pillar of that administration, Shagari administration. He performed extensively well. And by December 31st, 1983, there was another military coup. We had it on good authority that that military coup was done to prevent an Igbo man from succeeding Shagari. Now, politically again, you find out that we have, till today, we have 6 zones in the country. It is expected that each zone should produce one of the first 6 positions. And these positions include the presidency as number 1, vice president as number 2, Senate president as number 3, Speaker of the House of Representatives number 4, Chief Justice of the Federation, and then Secretary to the Government of the Federation. We are not having any of these. So that is a marginalization. 2, I'm talking of political marginalization. 2, other zones, the other 5 zones, each has not less than 6 states. Northwest has 7, but Southeast has only 5. Now, if you go to the National Assembly, each state, other zone, Southwest has 18 senators, North Central has 18 senators, Northeast has 18 senators, South has 18 senators, Northwest 21 senators, Southeast has 15 senators. That is minority. You go to a number of local governments. Kano has 44 local governments. Jigawa was carved after Kano. It has 33. If you put 2 of them, 77. Add Kaduna, the 3 states have more local government than the entire Southeast put together. And you know that today, allocation from federation account goes direct to the local government. So you see, Kano will be getting 44 shares, Jigawa 33. You can now check the states in the Southeast. How many would they get? So this is extent of, even today, ministerial, you talk of grade A ministries. How many does Southeast have? Southeast has Ministry of Works. That's the only substantive. And then on the certificate forgery issue, Southeast are the only 2, but and right now is 1. The others are Minister of State and so forth. So you see that politically Southeast is marginalized. Now talk of institutions. How many federal institutions do you have in the Southeast? The University of Nigeria and Nsukka was built by Eastern Region. Apart from Futo Owerri, Federal University of Technology Owerri, you see that Nnamdi Kanu was developed by former Anambra State government, and eventually federal government came in. You talk of agriculture. Yes, it was also built, the Umudike, it was built by former Eastern government and now taken over federal government. But we thank federal government for that. But to talk of, Kaduna alone has over 27 federal institutions. The entire Southeast, you can count. How many do we have? And other things. Now you come to projects. Where are the federal projects in the Southeast? You see that under General Buhari administration, Nigeria took $22.7 billion loan for railway project. That railway, the Southeast was excluded from that project. Yet the Southeast will be part of repayment. Rather, federal government used that money to provide railway to Nigeria, extended to Nigeria, instead of accommodating Southeast. You now go Southeast, look at the ports around us. Southeast has no major port, and yet Southeast zone is the greatest importer. You have more importance in Southeast than other parts of the country, but there's no single seaport, deep seaport, that can carry a big ships. Even, yes, we know that we are Southeast, but at least the ones that are near to us supposed to be developed by the federal government in order to reduce the distance from Southeast. None is done. Even within Southeast, we have a potential places that could be turned into a seaport. Federal government turned elsewhere. Now, you talk of roads. Go and see the federal roads, the truncated roads in the Southeast. There are mere gullies. You can't drive. And so, where do I begin? The federal institutions are not in the Southeast. Projects are not in the Southeast. So, and all these things, you go to the civil service. When it comes to GCE and JAMB, federal government will invoke Section 14, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which provides that in everything the government and its agencies do, necessary efforts should be made to reflect the federal character of the country in order to give every section a sense of belonging. When it comes to JAMB, they apply it and deny many brilliant candidates from Southeast who score very high. They deny them admission. You come to civil service, where people from this area perform exceptionally well, they will apply it. You come to promotion, they will apply it. I'll give you a particular case. A man from Afia State, who was my colleague in the Sunray publication, and later joined the Federal Civil Service. He was recruited as a deputy director. He joined interviewing a young man from another part of the country. Do you know that he remained a deputy director? The young man he recruited on level 9 eventually became a director. And when he was telling me, I said, well, I don't want to mention his name. He lived at Igwarimpa then. I asked him, so two of you, who answered the other as sir now? The day you interviewed him, he answered you, sir. Today he's a director. You remain a deputy director for many years. They'll tell you that there's no vacancy for your place. There are many instances. Look at the current recruitment at the CBN, where we have directors. There are about 3 people from Southeast. One was my former PhD student, who came first in her section. She was dropped. And somebody who didn't attend that interview was made a director of that section, that department. There are many instances. And so you see a number of enterprising and creative young men from Nigeria. They are neglected. So we are happy that today General Gowon has made this wonderful statement, and we congratulate him for being courageous, for being frank, and for being brutal on the continued marginalization, exclusion, and neglect of Southeast.
Yes,
we're also happy that he mentioned the issue of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, we're coming to that. We're coming to that, okay. Professor Nwekeaku.
Thank you.
He said squarely that let us integrate the Igbos fully into the affairs of Nigeria. Let us ensure that they have equal opportunities, equal rights, and equal representation. Let us work together to rebuild trust, to foster understanding, and to promote unity. So just the things you were talking about, the issue of having equal rights, equal representation, and equal opportunities in terms of appointments to positions and making available positions that are also available to others.
Yes, he was right. Time has come to provide equal. What every Igbo man wants is level playing ground. We are not asking for any favoritism. Provide level playing ground for all Nigerians. And that is the way to fast track the national development and transformation of this country. Because when you do that, you see that the talents from different parts of the country will come up and develop this country. Because of this sustained marginalization, exclusion, and neglect of some parts of the country, especially the Southeast, Nigeria is not moving forward. Let me give you an example. This Google map we are using today was developed by a young man from Imo State. In fact, from Echeruo family. Federal government, did they do much? And Google bought the franchise of it. Today, every person is using it. Techno, this handset we are using today, was developed by two young men from Anambra State. I can keep on mentioning. Many Nigerians, even from other parts, are very enterprising. But because of policy of marginalization, exclusion, and neglect, we are not harnessing this. And this is where Nigeria is. Today, Nigeria is a dumping ground. All manufactured products from other parts of the world come to Nigeria. We are not manufacturing anything. Nigeria is the 6th largest producer of crude oil. But Nigeria has also remained one of the greatest importer of oil products we could not refine. We thank God that, Dangote has contact, but he's a man, it's a private business. Otherwise, Nigeria remains importer of petroleum products. Yet, Nigeria is the largest producer of crude oil. And even that the crude oil we produce, do you know that the Nigerians are tangential to that oil production? Foreigners trade this oil for us. Otherwise, check oil companies. We have Shell, we have Chevron, we have Mobil, and so forth. All of them are foreign oil companies. NNPC doesn't do, NNPC is just to take records. It doesn't do any serious oil business. And that's why no Nigerian today knows the exact number of barrels of oil produced in a day, because we depend on foreigners. Foreigners will trade oil for us. The oil is transported to the international market through foreign shipping lines. And the oil is sold in dollars, not naira. So you see that from every angle, Nigeria is excluded. We are not refining the oil. Today we have remained a mono economy at this jet age. We are not. Foreigners sell it for us. Is there any amount that they pay into the federation account? Every month, the states will go there and scam and start struggling over that. We have no control over what we produce, and that is a tragedy. Today, how many years since 1970 to date, we have remained importer of almost everything, including pure water. We are not producing anything. A country where a part of it was able to produce armored vehicles under war condition cannot produce anything today. Is that the way to go? So Gowon's talk is timely. Nigeria needs to move forward. And for Nigeria to move forward, you need to harness every resource. You need to integrate. You need to mobilize all talents from all parts of the country. Talents are distributed, but because of the kind of leadership we have, because of the kind of reactive and retrogressive government we have, we are not moving forward. So time has come for Nigeria to come together, to reconcile, to heal that wound of war, to stop the issue of labeling any part of Nigeria as second-class citizens. That is that, and it is not good for Nigeria. We want a level playing ground for every part of Nigeria, and that is what the Igbos are asking for.
All right, we will take a break, Professor Nwekeaku. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll talk about that call by former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Stay with us. We'll be back after the... You're welcome back to the Eastern Hour here on Afia TV, a program that x-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. My name is Alex Obodo. I still have Professor Nwekeaku joining me virtually. So let's talk about the call by General Gowon for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It looks like now the call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has left the lips of Igbo to other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. Do you think this will really expedite action? Whatever it is the president wants to do, will this really turn his hand and change his heart?
Yes. First, I commend General Yakubu Gowon for this wonderful, courageous, and frank call for the release of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu. Number one, let's look at the circumstances of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was abducted in Kenya and bundled into Nigeria like a common criminal. And then he was arraigned. 15 terrorism charges were handed over to him. And a federal high court presided over by Justice Bienta Nyako discharged him of 8 of these 15 charges. He appealed. And appeal court, in a unanimous judgment of 3 justices, discharged and acquitted him of the remaining 7 charges. They added that Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer. They condemned the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Federal government said that they are appealing. For almost 7 months, no charges were brought against Kanu. Now, another federal high court, I think in Afia, gave judgment in favor of Kanu and even awarded damages against federal government. It was not obeyed. A Supreme Court in Kenya discharged and acquitted Kanu and said that Kanu has not committed any offense. The judgment indicted Kenyan government. With all this, we expected that the federal government should release Nnamdi Kanu for almost 5 years. Now, this time, his lawyers, who were privileged to see him, have come out and said that his health has deteriorated. Please allow this young man to receive proper medical treatment, not even outside the country, but within the country. They refused. Now, do they want him to die in cell? If he dies in cell, it will escalate insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the southeast. And we pray that it doesn't happen. So you see that government said they want to continue to do this. Now, you know, key Igbo leaders, including 93-year-old Mbaslike Amechi, First Republic Minister, he went to Abakaliki when Buhari visited and pleaded, please, as my birthday present on my 93rd birthday, release Nnamdi Kanu to me. I will make sure that it doesn't cause any problem. It was turned down. It's not Buhari government to be kind. It's not to Tinubu government. This is Buhari government. And later, Professor George Obiozo, President General of Ohaneze Worldwide, made the same plea. It was turned down. Former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, severally made the same plea. It was turned down. Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, as President General for Ohanaeze Ndị Igbo, even tried several times unsuccessfully to see Mr. President. Eventually, he led a delegation to see the Director General of DSS. And I can tell you, we were kept for over 4 hours. That was the last assignment Chief Iwuanyanwu did. Please release Nnamdi Kanu. It was not adhered to. And so, in all these circumstances, and we're asking whether Nnamdi Kanu has committed any offense, Court of Competent Jurisdiction has said he has no case to answer. Now, even if you say you want to continue to try him, even if it means granting him administrative bail, let him go and treat himself. We are not saying you said that nothing like political solution. We have been having political solution in Nigeria. I want to give you, when Obasanjo was president and the chief Ralphus Owazirike was arrested just like this, and when a delegation of Igbo leaders met him, he was compassionate enough. He granted administrative bail to Owazirike. And Owazirike continued to go, and eventually today he's a free man, and he has not caused any problem. Why can't we do the same thing for Nnamdi Kanu? Sunday Igbo, you see his own part. So, although he wasn't arrested in Nigeria, but even at that, Benin Republic tried him and discharged him. There are other people. We have bandits from different parts of the country. And what government is doing is to negotiate with them. And they said that they are rehabilitating them. And they organized a party for them and commended them that they have repented. But a man that was not caught with any gun is being incarcerated. And the worst part of it is that I'm happy that yesterday, progressive Nigerians from different parts of the country, led by Showere, protested, peaceful demonstration. And now government tear gas them. Look, Section 39, Section 40, and other sections of the Constitution provide for fundamental human rights. We have freedom of speech, freedom of information, freedom of association, and freedom of movement. What are these people? And the worst of it is that about 10 people were reported to have been detained, including the brother of Nnamdi Kanu, the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu, and some others. Why? So, we are pleading with Mr. President to look at this issue of Nnamdi Kanu with objective and unbiased mind. The solution is not beyond him. If drug bandits and people who have read our economy could be granted presidential pardon, what is wrong in extending it to a young man who felt that his people were being marginalized, that his people were not being treated fairly? And he spoke out. What offense has he committed? You see, today, Igbo sons and daughters are leaving the country in droves because opportunities are no longer here. And so we are appealing to Mr. President to temper justice with mercy and grant Nnamdi Kanu release. I won't say pardon because he has not been convicted of any offense. Release Nnamdi Kanu. He is not the problem of Nigeria. We understand that some people say he should not be released. If media report is anything to go by, including a man from Anambra State, Chief Ibokwe, I do not, any Igbo man that doesn't support the release of Nnamdi Kanu, I do not think that that person has in fact, the person's DNA should be checked. He's not an Igbo man. Any Igbo man that is against the release of Nnamdi Kanu, irrespective of whatever that person is saying, is not, go and check his DNA. He's not an Igbo man. So long as Nnamdi Kanu is in jail, every Igbo man is in jail. The Igbos are in jail. We appeal to Mr. President to unchain us by releasing Nnamdi Kanu so that we have peace and security in the Southeast. Today, small and medium enterprises have almost folded up in the Southeast because every Monday you have sit at home. You go to Southeast, every 100 meters, you see police or military checkpoint. For a trip that will take you 1 hour, will take you 4 hours. And at every point, our people are paying what you could call toll gate. Every 100 meters, they pay. They keep on extorting money from travelers. Even if you are traveling in a private car, you cannot meet your time. Hours are lost in the Southeast. Businesses are closed up because of this thing, because people and miscreants have cashed into the thing, causing mayhem in various communities of Igbo land. And in the odd, they will tell you, IPOB is doing that, IPOB is doing that. And we have severally charged as federal government. I read these people, if you say they are IPOB members. IPOB has come out several and said that they are no longer interested in sit at home on Monday. They are not enforcing it. But miscreants have cashed into it, and federal agencies are looking at them. We are pleading that we are being treated like a conquered territory. Yet, the same General Gowon declared after the Civil War, no victory, no vanquished. That was the principle. But in practice, we are being excluded till today. And we are asking that something has to be done. So I want to commend General Gowon for saying that. But that leads me to our political leaders in the Southeast. This is an opportunity for them to leverage on it. They will come out individually and tell you that they have requested Mr. President, appeal to Mr. President to release Nnamdi Kanu. We want our governors to go as a group, if possible with some other Igbo leaders and Ohanese. Let them go at this point and meet Mr. President and appeal for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And appeal for the release of innocent people that went out to protest. They were not carrying arms. They should be released without further delay. They have not committed any offense, apart from expressing their fundamental human rights. And I want to commend Soro for organizing that thing. It shows that other Nigerians have also realized that Igbos are being marginalized, are being excluded. And so I commend all those who did peaceful protest. We don't want violence. But now, the challenge is now for political leaders of Southeast to leverage on this and see that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu is released. They must come together. I don't see how they will go together and demand for release of Nnamdi Kanu. Mr. President will not refuse. Media reports have it that a number of our sons are even suggesting that release of Nnamdi Kanu is a risky venture. It is not true. Now we are lucky to have Imo State Governor as the chairman of APC Governors Forum. That means he has access to Mr. President. He should organize and lead other Southeast governors. Let them see Mr. President. Let them read some of our elders and the Ohanese leadership. Let them see Mr. President. I can tell you that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu will be released, and that will help the Igbos and help Nigeria. But beyond this, if people exclude you, if people marginalize you, if people neglect you, you should not marginalize yourself. You should not exclude yourself. You should not neglect yourself. Time has come for Southeast people to rise up to the challenge. If our former leaders during the Civil War could withstand Civil War for 30 months, perform brilliantly and excellently well, how come that our political leaders cannot begin economic integration of Southeast and even extend it to South-South? How come that they cannot begin to have railway within? You see that the railway in Nigeria is vertically linked. Colonial masters designed that job for export Nigerian products without processing them. Our governors should begin railway project in the Southeast and link major cities. They should begin economic integration. They should begin industrialization by adopting backward integration and forward linkages. And that will make Southeast the hub economy of Nigeria. We can't continue to lament of this, of that. We have what it takes. They should provide, make sure that Southeast is business friendly, is secured. I read the other time that Alin Onyema, the chief executive of APIS, tried to build aircraft maintenance in the...
We're just about to wrap up because we're basically out of time. Professor Nwekeaku, are you still there?
Sorry?
Are you still there? We lost you for a minute.
Yes,
and,
yes, I'm there. I'm there.
We are totally out of time. I wanted to really thank you because we are out of time. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I'm saying that our political leaders will no longer make us to cry. Let rise up and organize Southeast and make it develop Southeast for our people.
All right. I have to thank you so much, Professor Charles Nwekeaku, Secretary, Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Thank you for your insight on the Eastern Eye tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that's the Eastern Eye for tonight. Join us tomorrow, same time, for another edition of the program. My name is Alex Obodo. Good night.